around hustle. Much appreciated catching me live. I had to make sure I announced it to you guys today because I know people won't know if it's not announced, so it is what it is. But here we are. Let's move forward. Let's go jump into our next, and that's going to be the Saints destroyed the Pats 34-0, second week in a row being beat by 30 plus. Is the season lost? That's the biggest question for the Patriots right now. I would say with Bill Belichick, no. I would just say that Bill Belichick has the most bulletin board material that he's probably had in the last 40 years. And he's going to be able to just dissect and rip apart guys. But will they be able to accept that? That's the thing. But let me talk about the Saints first, because the Saints won the game. They won the game in very dominant fashion as well too, and their defense really said, you know what, we don't care what the offense is going to do today, we're going to step this thing up and we're going to get stops. That's what we're going to do, because we see an offense on the other side that's not that good. And so what we're going to do as a group today, we're going to shut them down, and we're not going to sit up in here and give them the opportunity to feel that they're going to be in this game. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. You have a team in the Saints that had 17 first downs yesterday. That's not a lot, really, but the Patriots only had 8. So that means that they were averaging 2 a quarter in this game. The Patriots had 156 total yards in the game, 45 rushing, 111 passing yards, and they had 51 plays. You have 51 plays and you equate it to that much offense? That's awful. And the Saints had 70 plays themselves. Saints put the ball on the ground 42 times yesterday as well. And they just did their thing. They got 2 sacks. They were able to win the time of possession battle by almost 20 minutes, 39-34 to 20-26. This was just an absolute clinic, and it was a ball possession game for a team that has not been able to score that many points. They literally scored as many points as they did in the last 2 weeks in that game. And you have Derek Carr, who threw for 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, sacked twice, 18 for 26. When you look at the numbers, it's not that good, but his QBR was 114.7. So he did everything right. Kamara was a big difference. 80 yards with the touchdown yesterday on 22 carries. Also, Michael Thomas arrived yesterday somewhat, 4 catches on 65 yards. And then Olave was able to get himself a touchdown yesterday. Moreau as well, too. So that was good. That was good building for this team. And Cameron Jordan got half a sack with Kapasigan. And then also Granderson had himself a sack as well, too. So everything worked in the right way for the Saints. And then when you look at the Pats numbers, Mac Jones probably had his worst game ever as a Patriot yesterday, 12 for 22. He only completed 54.5% of his passes for 110 yards, and he was averaging 5 yards of catch as well, too. And then also pretty much a QBR of 30.5. So this is not going to fly. And then the running game was just as bad, too. Zeke had eight carries, 21 yards. Stevenson had 24 yards on 8 carries. This is not going to work for this team. And they did get to the quarterback yesterday, but that was almost pageantry in a sense. You know what I mean? It was really, really bad. But all in all, I truly do feel that the Patriots are a team that you have to say to yourself, when is it going to be time for you to move on from Bill Belichick? And when is it going to be time for you to just go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to start fresh? But I do understand Kraft. Kraft is a corporate guy, okay? And Kraft has this mentality that with a great coach like Bill Belichick that he's had so much success with, he much rather Bill Belichick step off on his own. Or when they get to the end of the year and have their end of the year meetings, he nicely asks him to retire. But I don't truly think Bill's that much of the problem here. I think what happens here with the Patriots is that they just don't have the roster. It's that simple. They don't have the leader at quarterback. They don't have the playmakers at the wide receiver position. Their running back spot is pretty good. And I know that's where Bill's thinking is that let's be a great running team. But it's not going to work if you're not going to be able to do, deceptive things with the pass game. And they just have not been able to do that. And they're putting too much pressure on the defense. We know that the Patriots defense can hold the line if they need to. But if they're on the field 80% of the game, it's not gonna even matter. They're not gonna have enough energy to keep doing the same thing. And once again, that there's roster issues on that end as well too. The Patriots are a team that really does need to look at who they are in the mirror and understand that this just ain't going to be their season. Okay. And I truly do feel that the Patriots are going to be a top 10 picking team this year, but they're going to be much better next week. I'm telling you, they'll be much better next week because Bill Belichick is going to rip into these fellas